still day one of Ministravaganza number 7, but it's on the apocalypse train. This is the third one in a row about apocalypse. That's right. Oh, hello. Welcome to Ministravaganza. Thanks for joining us, but you don't have to be thanks for joining us. You've been joining us all day and having a good time watching all the fun stuff happen. We just finished up the, what was that one called? So you've told me that the last time. Survival of the Fittest live stream, where we talked about the design, development, and all the wonderful stuff coming about Apocalypse and the Horsemen and the Ultimate Encounter and all the fun stuff. This is about the first one himself, Insabanur, Apocalypse. We're going to paint him up right now for the second time ever. First time was the studio miniature one. So second time ever. I'm super excited about this one. If you can't tell, I'm stoked. So let's kick it over to that minicam, Summer. As you can see, I went ahead and laid a base coat for our stream today. I did prep. See, stream, they said Dow's never preps. Sometimes he does. I did lay a base coat on here. I used Pro Acryl light blue, I believe, or sky blue. Sorry, sky blue. And I also mixed a little bit. I found a bottle of Artist ink in Tony's office, and it happened to be turquoise. And I thought it looked very, very lovely sitting there on Tony's desk that I had to steal it for myself. It was a beautiful turquoise color of art ink. Mixed that into the sky blue and did a little undershadowing on there just to give it some depth and a little drama. I came in here and I actually did kind of have in my brain meats a little like, this is kind of how I'm going to approach the miniature. And as soon as I got it on the gimbal, and as soon as I started looking at the colors on the table that's been used today, I totally backtracked and I'm going to do something totally different. I just, sometimes that's the way it be. Sometimes that's the way it be. 65 millimeters. Come from 65 millimeter base. Great big old chunky base. I want to put a little bit of this purple out. I'm gonna mix some colors. Usually on the AMG streams, I don't mix a lot of colors. Today's the day. It's gonna happen. I'm gonna mix a lot of colors. I want to play with some. I just want to play with something here. I'm not sure it's gonna work immediately. So I'm putting some dark magenta, some purple. I'm going to pull out a little bit of this dark blue. I think this dark blue is quite lovely. I actually haven't used this color a tremendous amount, but it's kind of the thing that it was sitting there and I noticed it. And I pulled it out for an earlier stream and I didn't actually use it, but it was just kind of sitting there. And I was like, I kind of like that color. Maybe there's something maybe I can use it. Maybe it's something I can use. So. Just wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Apocalypse sculpt. I'm so excited to be painting this up. I am ready to get this fella on my game table and pit it against my poor, poor, poor opponents. Let's use a little bit of this glaze wash medium too. I love having that stuff out. You know what? I'm gonna do something else. We're playing today, Summer. I'm going to put a little dot of this, it's the Pro Acryl Gloss Varnish. So, Pro Acryl paints tend to lean a little matte. I prefer satin finish on my paints. And talking to Jason over there and the team at Monument, they said if you use a little bit of that gloss varnish, just a little touch, just a little kiss, you can get more of a satin finish on your paints. So I'm going to try that out. Look at that lovely color. It might be too dark at first. You know what? That might be too dark. Let's bring that up just a little touch. Yeah, 65 millimeter base. Big ol' Apocalypse. Coming in hot. Coming in to wreck your house. I think that's the color I want. Is it? See, I'm second guessing myself now, Summer. Okay, we're gonna just start working some shadows. Working the shadows. Now the reason I'm doing this is because I want to bring a tinge of purple into the armor without it being over purple. I'm just gonna work that in. Yeah. You can probably barely see that right now. If you have any questions, just let me know. But I think what this is going to do is add a little flair to the overall look that we're trying to capture here on this awesome miniature. Super cool miniature to work on. Everybody in the studio was super excited for this one to come across the release schedule, and immediately everybody got hype. The ideas started flying and all that. How tall is Apocalypse compared to Dormammu? I don't have a Dormammu on me. Dormammu is definitely taller. Dormammu's got that long, lean build. Our boy Apocalypse here has got that little heavier, low and heavy build. Apocalypse is on it. This is a large base. This is a 65 millimeter base. Just a little blendy blends. Yeah, I just want that little bit of tonality in there. Fourth tallest in the game. Definitely bigger than Thanos. Not as big as Dormammu. We knew we wanted him big, but you didn't want to get, he's not a skyscraper, right? He's not Sentinel. Not a 9 threat. We just showed his rules. Definitely not a 9 threat. I want to figure out a way to make the miniature way more Bicassi thick. Put some fishing weights under his base. That's a classic move by miniature hobbyists, like scale modelers. If you don't know, if you're into scale model airplanes, they tend to be back heavy because that's just the shape of airplanes. and it's not a real airplane, so it doesn't have like massive jets on the back. You know, it's just plastic. So many model plane kits are a little back heavy, and they use fishing weights in the nose. Angel can or cannot turn into... well, if you listen to the last stream, they definitely said Archangel is a character and Angel is a character. It's a great looking miniature, PC says. Yeah, we agree. I'm in agreement. Total agreement. I think this miniature is great. Sculpted by our very own Marco. I got that one right.
Yeah, you did.
Third time's a charm. Well, I'm in a tricky position for painting. Oh, that worked out. Yeah, I believe you got to see the Archangel and Angel sculpts teased at Adepticon. I think that's correct. That's what Seeker's saying. I believe Seeker's correct. I'm waiting for somebody to be like, we can definitely tell Dallas has been waiting to paint Apocalypse because he's taking great care in this. Oh, I can't get you an NDA, Seeker. Best I can do is a dope high five next time I see you. No one's got questions? We have Apocalypse on the paint table, kids. This is literally the moment we've all been waiting for. How long did it take to nail down this pose? This is one of those ones where we had the idea for the optional parts in mind pretty early, and so we kind of did like a rough pose, and then we kind of just turned it over to sculpt and said, you know, sort of make it what you will, you know, to make the arms works, right? So You know, it's a little more work when you have all those extra parts. It's not always cut and dry on how to do it, but it's pretty much the way it was drawn. Just the arms, just the 2 extra arms. Just the 2 extra arms. Most poses are actually similar. The human body only does a fair number of things. It's about the subtlety of the pose, right? You can do right hand up, right hand down, left hand up, left hand down, both hands up, both hands down, right? It's exactly the same. Leg up, leg down, both legs down, both legs up. It's body turn right, body turn left. That every pose breaks down to that. And you really want to capture the character and the personality. And not every miniature needs to be doing a double backflip over an explosion, although we do love those. Sometimes you just need a villain monologuing. We also take a lot of consideration into base spacing. When you have a great big old miniature and we only have certain bases to work within, you want to make sure that the pose fits on it. You want to make sure the pose fits on the base. So the smaller base, some games have small bases, and that can limit the pose, right? It can dramatically limit the pose, because you only have so much space to work within. If we have MCP poses that if we didn't have a 30 millimeter base and we had a classic 25 millimeter base, right? The pose just wouldn't work, right? Just too much going on. So we always take that into consideration. It's always part of the design process, is thinking about, this is the base size we're going to get, right? Maybe for dev reasons or, whatever reason. With Apocalypse, we got this, we got the 65. Obviously, he's big. We got a 65 millimeter base, so we're going to use it. But we also want to make sure that he's doing something apocalyptic-y. And there's just something about that monologuing monstrosity that just resonates with people. Do I personally own and play MCP? And if so, do you typically paint your own stuff, box art, or something else? Great question, sweet tea and coffee. I still didn't get a cocoa. Ah! Oh no! Oh no! I know. It's fine. It's fine. I'll survive. I have water. I have delicious cold water. I don't. I'll be buzzing. I do own and play MCP. Actually, I own and play all of our games. I have every single Marvel Crisis Protocol miniature that has been released painted except for 10. And then I have some unreleased ones painted. And then I have some characters painted multiple times, 2, maybe even 3 times on some characters. So I have a giant collection of Marvel Crisis Protocol painted already. I'm going to show... We're just going to keep working on this blue. I do not paint box art. That is not my job. I have painted a few MCP box arts. Scarlet Witch is mine. I feel like there's another. I feel like there's another, but I can't remember. Oh. Did you see that? Yeah, I messed it up, but that's okay. That's what that damp brush is for. Seeker says, cannot get over how good the art has been today. Yeah, I think Preston and Josh have really just amped up the art. As with, every team at AMG is about pushing, growing, learning, changing, adapting, seeing what worked, seeing what didn't work, trying new stuff. It's an important part of our DNA and our philosophy is kind of never settle, never give up, never surrender. And that's, just sort of ingrained in many of us, right? Take responsibility, own our actions, and be better. So we're always trying to push and grow artistically, and many of us even personally, right? It's always important to be better than you were yesterday. He's on 65 millimeter base. He is on the big base. He's big. So much to paint. How much am I going to get done? Not as much as I want, because I want to play him, and I can't play him until he's painted. Oh, great question there. Soup the Worm. I do both. Sometimes it's nice to just, I want Spider-Man to look like Spider-Man. You know what I mean? Like, I want to do my take on Spider-Man, but it's still red and blue, right? But also like my Wolverine, I've done the blue and yellow Wolverine. I've done the brown and mustard Wolverine, and also I've done a black and white Wolverine to go with my X-Force. So I've done a whole X-Force in their traditional colors and in the black and white colors from the early 2000s. The one thing I don't do is like change costumes, because there's always that chance that we're gonna just do that costume later, right? But I will paint them in alternate color schemes of their current costumes. Or I'll do little conversions here and there and stuff like that. But so it literally just depends on the character, what my mood is. Do I have like an affiliation goal? Like do I have like, like I have certain rules for different affiliations. What is that, Tony Konchak? Tony Konchak brought me a cocoa. Hang on, everybody. Hang on, hang on. Everybody get ready. Get ready. Oh my gosh. Delicious. Mighty delicious. Are you going to paint a black and white archangel? Hint, hint, is Archangel an X-Force. Even if something isn't in, so here's what I'm going to say about that. Even if something isn't in affiliation, if I tend to play it with that affiliation, I will paint it in that affiliation's colors, because that's how MCP works. You get splash characters and everybody can be on the same team. Hiya! So, maybe I'll paint an archangel in X-Force affiliation. Who knows? And it might be just because I splash it in there. I confirm nothing. Just won't know that info. That's true. I don't actually know that info. When you ask me affiliation, I'm like, I don't actually know that info. That sounds like dev stuff. That sounds like dev stuff. Somebody asked me what I was doing. Yeah, it's right now I'm just shadows. Oh, it's not a matter of keeping me in the dark. It's more of a matter of, during playtest things might change, or how you tackle a skin tone. Great question. We're gonna get to his skin. I want to keep doing a little shadow. Well, how long have we been painting, Summer? 30. So we still have a whole hour. They weren't ready for me for a whole hour, were they? Or 90 minutes, I mean. Somebody said Tony's a real life angel. That's true. That's true. We were just talking about package deals. And Evan and Marco are a package deal, and Tony and Dallas are a package deal. You buy a Dallas, you get a Tony for free. Which is a terrible deal, because you're really paying for Tony. Do you ever magnetize to have his optional parts usable? I do not magnetize. I don't like the jambliness of it. I'm pretty much a person that makes up their mind and sort of sticks to it. Unless, for myself, I'm easily convinced of other. If you have in a discussion, I'm open to a conversation, and if you have a good argument, I'll listen to it. But for my miniatures, I usually just pick something and I glue it together. You haven't drove a forklift in like 20 years, so I could up my stock if I relearned forklift 101. But yeah, so I don't typically magnetize. If I want, here's the thing. If I find myself, I'm one of those people that will paint things multiple times. So that's just where I come from. That's just always been my mentality. from the very first miniature I ever painted more years ago than I want to talk about. Thank you very much. I'm old. I'm like the second oldest person in the studio. Third oldest. I'm very much like if I'm like, well, I really want apocalypse with this buzzsaw. I'll paint another apocalypse. But that's just how I think. It's just the way I work. You know, there's nothing wrong with magnets. I just don't do it. I like gluing my stuff together. I'm a loose cannon. I'm gonna do what I want. I'm actually getting some pretty bad blends, but I'm really enjoying it because it's giving him like a sort of interesting texture on the miniature. So I'm not going to do all of it. It's a little boring. Let's get our friend here, hold your blue, and maybe a little. Maybe dark blue again? No. Dark purple, blue, black, dark purple. So, I mean, Lord Dusty, you say that, but I stated in my conversation, like, that's the way I've always been, and I have not always worked for a studio. Like, it's just the way I've always been. Oh boy. This is where it's going to come together. So this Holger blue has a touch of turquoise. Like I said, I stole turquoise ink from Tony, even though he brought me a cocoa. I still stole turquoise ink from him. So this is going to pull things together by blending out this turquoisey Holger blue. It's a very dark color. So this is going to punch in those shadows and bring some really nice color to all that blue. And you stretch that out. If you learn to stretch paint out with that second brush, you can kind of create a glaze over everything as well. I do recommend purple shade blue. That's effectively what I did by mixing those colors earlier for that first shade. Is it made it like a fuchsia-ish color. And then by stretching this teal or this turquoise out over that fuchsia, you're pushing in that dark color, you're tying everything together, just really richening up the whole palette. Seeing all the terrain and this miniature makes me want all of it. Gonna need to make space. So Apocalypse and the train set, if you didn't watch the last stream, or you didn't quite understand what they were saying, the terrain set, the rejuvenation chamber, which we painted earlier, comes with the ultimate encounter for Apocalypse and is used in the ultimate encounter very specifically. It's part of the design and setup of the ultimate encounter. I'm not going to give away too much that wasn't given away. And then the cool part is that the dev, Ben and Josh got together and got with the sculpting team and was totally looking at all the different parts we were sculpting. And the terrain set might have ended up, wink wink, as also part of the ultimate encounter. There are tokens or little punchy standees to where you don't have to buy the terrain. You can play the ultimate encounter. But if you buy the train set, it adds to the ultimate encounter. You can replace the little tokens. So very cool. We really cranked it up for this ultimate encounter. Very exciting. I'm so excited to get my hands on all this. Because I want to paint and play it so bad. I don't think my partner wants me to, but that's okay. Oh, see how that Holzer Blue's punching in their shadows, Summer? Is it reading good?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I'll have to apologize to my partner if I end up just playing Apocalypse for like the next 3 months. I'm sorry. It's Apocalypse. Look at his blue face. See a delicate little feather out? Easy peasy. You can learn to do that. Because I believe in you. And maybe you don't believe in you, but that's okay. Because I believe in the you that believes in me. Or wait, did I say that backwards? Believe in the me that believes in you? That's it, right?
I actually don't know that saying, or I don't know the.
What?
No, I know the saying. I'm sorry. I don't know the accuracy of the way that you said it. But I actually like the way you said it, whether it worked or not.
Yeah, I took my spin. did my spin on it. This little part will be silver. I'm just going to darken it for now. Man, I'm going to have to remember what colors I use so I can finish this fellow later. Let's work on the skin a little bit. We haven't touched the skin. We have gray skin. I'm going to use dark neutral gray. I'm going to have to watch this stream when I go home to finish the apocalypse and be like, now what color did I use again? Dark warm gray seems good. And let's do warm gray as well. A little bit of grays out there. Okay, let's start with just the warm gray. Once again, I'm going to use a little of that, not gloss. Yeah, we have a little gloss touch. Boop, a little touch gloss. Takes that matte finish, turns it satin. Boo, boo, boo. And what we're going to do is we're just kind of stretch that out over the skin parts. And it's okay to leave a little bit of that blue showing. I like that little bit of blue shining through. That's what the glaze medium's for, is to kind of make this paint a little more translucent. Because I really like that blue kind of shining through. Great googly moogly, look at him. The facial details. Impeccable. Impeccable. This adds a lot in shadows, but I'm going to go ahead and throw some of this on here. Chat, are y'all just watching? Everybody's been waiting years to watch Apocalypse get painted. And here he is, finally. In all of his majesty and glory. There we go. Just sort of sketch it in there too, right? You can cover these muscles up a little. Then do like a quick drag down with a damp brush. Biceps. You gotta do the biceps. Definitely went classic apocalypse, but when we started looking at the sculpt, we looked a lot also, of course, we were all reading House of X at the time, and I really fell in love with Apocalypse in that. And his portrayal and kind of his role in Krakoa, and so we kind of also looked at the way he was drawn in that and for inspiration. Yeah, super great in that run, right? Like, oh, just fantastic. But we definitely looked at his build and the way he carried himself, and so you want to hit those classic beats, but at the same time you also want to bring something new and fresh, because we're doing something new, right? We're doing something new. We're making Marvel Crisis Protocol. It's a new game. It's only been out for 4 years. AMG's only been around for 5 years. We're so young. We're just babes. And it was cool seeing his portrayal in there, and just I really fell in love with his body language. And so when Marco started sculpting, we looked at those images and those scenes from that run, and sort of brought that and translated it in there. You never know when newer, we've snuck newer things in, and I mean, we say newer things like, Cassandra Nova, I heard somebody say brand new character, too new. It's like, that's a 25-year-old character. So we do like sneaking new stuff in. You also want to hit those sweet points, from a design and just, what people remember and those iconic things. But you never know when something's gonna come sneaking in, and we're just gonna be like, throw you for a loop, like you weren't ready for this. Gwenpool, super new, yeah. And we've only just begun, right? We've only just begun, and we're 2 years ahead of what you've seen, right? Internally. So you never know what we're working on and cooking up in the kitchen right now. My favorite line is when community sees something and they use the word finally, and I'm like, oh, that thing is 2 years old. I love Scott Summers with the X mask. I absolutely adore that one. But I like many of the designs. I don't even know if I have like I'm not one to say favorites. I don't typically have favorites because I just enjoy a lot of things for a lot of different reasons. Um, you know, not everything has to be compared to the last thing. Like sometimes I like to just let things be like, well, what is this, right? What is this? What is this trying to do? What is the story? What is this purpose here? Why is this different? And just kind of let that live and breathe on its own merit without comparing it to the past or what has been. Comparison is the killer of joy in my eyes. So sometimes you just gotta look at a new costume or a new storyline and kind of take it in and see what they're trying to present. Like, what is the new concept here? What's the new purpose? You know, what's this person telling me, right? You know, when I say person, I mean the writer, the artist. What are they telling me about? And I love that. I love that it's interesting and new and fresh and maybe a new take, something I didn't think of. You know? It's super fun. My number one hope is for hope. Hope, yeah. Cool design, cool character. I think I want to do these internal spots black. I think we want some contrast there. Do something different. I want to do something different. Summer, how long we got?
We have approximately
30 minutes still.
Yep.
You're saying I should take another sip of cocoa.
Don't want to get cold.
It's good on my throat when I'm talking all day. Yeah, I think I want to do these internal parts black instead of gray. I think. Okay, let me think about this, kids. Okay, so we got the gray legs, gray arms, gray face. I think adding a little black adds weight and menace to it. And he does have a costume that does have like a black frame to his torso. So this is sort of an interpretation of taking one costume and applying the philosophy to a new costume, a different costume. I think I'm going to try it. Let's use this satin black. This is the Pro Acryl Satin Black, the Adepticon set of paints. I am all for Mallrat Jubilee, 100%. Mallrat Jubilee. Yeah, I think I like that black. Yeah, I like that. The door was closing on 90s X-Men? What do you mean the door was closing on 90s X-Men? I mean, closed doors can always be opened. Oh, that black looks so super good. Epic. I love the black on there. I think it just adds a little bit of weight. And I like it. Yeah, that's gonna look super. Mm-mm-mm. What color are your gloves? Should his hands be gray or black? I'm thinking they should still be gray. Oh, maybe gray palms, black tops? Ooh. Ooh, spicy. AMG. Well, Andy's saying gray. I have to listen to Andy. Once again, we're just gonna blend that out ever so lovingly. We're not going for perfection. We're going for done. Cardigan brown work gloves. Yeah, he's wearing his brown jerseys, you know. He's a hard-working feller. That apocalypse. Yeah, I think black tops are gonna look kind of slick. Am I going to do a second one in the purple outfit? Maybe. Maybe. I'm gonna be real honest. It's been way too hot to hobby lately, but hopefully it cools off soon, and I can start doing a little more hobby at home because I really want to get some stuff painted. I don't know if Second Apocalypse is on the on the docket, but it could be. A semi-metallic metal version would be cool too, which is something I was thinking about doing with this one. Is sort of layering a layer of silver over everything and then glazing with blues and purples, so the silver just sort of peeks through ever so slightly. I think that would be very cool. I'm definitely expecting seeing that when the community gets their hands on this miniature. I think another version would be really cool, like just something like you just why is it too hot to hobby? My house is hot and it's uncomfortable. That's why. It's uncomfortable. I want to not be inside it. But like, I think a ivory apocalypse would be kind of cool, and something just like you've never really seen. It could be a very cool experiment and just an alternate. But I really think something like ivory or sandstone apocalypse would be kind of a rad take on the character. Just something different, right? Just playing with colors and seeing what you can do with the character. Summer, are we having to leave early? Are we being told to leave early? Oh. It's true. It's true, I am. But we're painting Apocalypse. Fun fact, most houses in Seattle do not come with air conditioners.
I believe I read an article that said it was under 40% of houses in Washington have air conditioning.
That sounds right. Okay, I want to do some highlighting on his armor before I get kicked for the next stream, because I do have the next stream. This is our sky blue. And we're just going to start highlighting with that. Oh, in the animated, animated sand, that's pretty cool. That would be pretty cool. What would be some other interesting takes? On Apocalypse's armor that would be unique. See, now you can see that with the highlight going on, how all those shade colors are working together. And now you're getting that contrast and really defining those shapes. I love the idea of sand armor. Seeker has good ideas sometimes. Seeker has good ideas. Many times. I think I'd love to see something also with some designs like inlaid, like just sketched into the armor. That'd be pretty rad, right? Almost like little filigrees, like just hand sketched into the armor. Yes, look at this apocalypse coming together. Chat, you better get your questions in. We're getting ready for, I hear them on the other side of the wall. Getting ready for the next stream, which is the 5-year retrospect, right? That sounds right.
Yeah, 5 years from 2005.
Yeah, I'm in that one.
Yeah, that's you, right?
I'm in there. I was here day one. 10 minutes. Look at his grumpy face. Look at his grumpy face. What kind of miniatures are the most fun for you to paint? That's a good question. I mean, if you love the character, it's always super fun, right? Because you're just automatically invested. I do love miniatures that are challenging and sort of ask me questions. I love miniatures that are provide me the opportunity as a painter to kind of stretch and push. I mean, of course, you know, I love MCP and, you know, the miniatures we make. Because I think that I feel they do those things, right? So I love painting our stuff. So I don't know. I think, did he really need A on his knee pads? He did. He did. How else will you know? How will you know it was he? The first. He's AAA and he wants you to know it. Yeah, MCP has like real bright colors and poppiness, and it also has like nice the comic designs. So they're not typically covered in a lot of gribble and tiny fiddly bits, cluttering up the space. You know, they're comics. So I personally love that, like super open designs that really breathe. I really love painting that kind of stuff personally. That should be blue as well. And then this should be silvers. I want this whole back thing to be silver, so I'm going to black it out. This whole spinal contraption is going to be silver. Y'all got the jokes today. Oh, I was thinking one of his favorite songs is by Patsy Cline. You know, because he's a modern villain, he really enjoys the Leanne Rimes version. That's not modern at all. I realized as soon as I said it.
I was gonna say.
That's not. Time is meaningless. Time means nothing.
This guy's hecka old. It's modern for him.
It's modern for him, you know. It's modern for him. He's learning to adapt. That's what he does. He learns to adapt. That's his whole shtick. Gotcha. Vintage is always in. It's true. It's true. I always imagine Apocalypse playing fiddle in an Alabama tribute band. What? What? Why does that make sense? Riddle me that. Why does that make sense? That makes no sense and yet perfect sense. Nope, I just slap paint on the big A. A couple weeks ago, we were painting red capes on Lady Sif, and I talked about dragging paint with the flow of the. So I just kind of did that there as well. He could not outfiddle Johnny. Slowly coming together. Slowly coming together. We only got about 2 more minutes. And I think I really like his armor. I think those colors are all working. I'm going to have to write down this recipe after the VOD. Let me just push these paints over here. Maybe I'll remember it. Oh, I already lost them. It'll be okay. I'll wing it. Like I normally do. Add just a little bit of white to that sky blue. Yep, we had the same idea at the same time there, Seeker, and I totally just didn't have the paints very organized, so they're mixed up. It'll be alright. It'll be alright. Yeah, that's what he's doing. He's like, bring me my fiddle. All right, we're going to tear down. We just finished up. We're going to get ready on the other side. So join me over there for our 5-year retrospective with Josh. No, who's on? Pagani, Marco, Schick, me, and Simone. That's who's on. I know Josh is always first in my heart. You know how it is. All right, so see you over there in a little bit. Bye.